There's a passion that ignites us, driven by pride, daring, and the desire to excel, fueled by the high-octane love of owners, drivers, and car lovers everywhere. It's a calling for every man and woman to enjoy and live this lifestyle now. Welcome to Cars and Coffee Exposed. There are some places that truly take your breath away. The Vault of Scottsdale is one of them. Not only were we lucky enough to shoot a Cars and Coffee event at the Vault, but founder and curator Ron Evans sat down with us to give us the history behind this incredible facility and a private tour of these amazing cars. Thank you so much for having us here at the Vault.
Happy to.
Tell me how you conceived of this amazing place.
Well, it started with needing to have a bigger place to store my collection of cars. And then in talking with the architects, they said that the building could be twice the size that I was going to build. And the light bulb moment went off that I felt I could put a new spin on collector car storage. So it gave me a place to put my collection, which at the time was 15 cars or so, and all the signs and memorabilia I collected. I've always been a gearhead. Cars have been my passion since I was a little kid, so it made for a natural fit.
I heard a little rumor about one of the reasons why you started the Vault was because you felt like there needed to be some diversification in the car community.
Well, I had visited other car storage facilities in Scottsdale because I was out of room at the existing building I had was a smaller version of this. And as it worked out, I found this lot. So I wanted to create something that was different in the Valley, and people have responded. And
I get a real welcoming feeling here. A lot of that has to do with you and your staff.
That was my goal. I wanted it to feel like you walked in and this was just a bigger version of your own personal man cave. I joke about it. This is my man cave that I share with a few thousand of my closest friends.
So tell us more about the social aspect of things, what your members, what do they do here?
Yes.
They meet here.
A lot of them come every Friday and just hang out. They may have, a beverage. If a game's on, they'll watch some TV. Many of them are self-employed and work from home, so they'll work out of our conference room. They'll have clients meet them here. A lot of them own businesses, and this gives them a nice place to work. Not bad to walk around and look at some things when they want to take a break.
I'm sure it's pretty impressive.
We do regular F1 watching parties during F1 season. I like anything with racing. If it's got wheels and goes fast, I like it. But a lot of people prefer F1. We've had Super Bowl parties here, Indy 500 parties with some different car clubs around town that I belong to. So for me, it's about community and bringing like-minded people together and enjoy it.
As we've driven around, I've noticed how many beautiful cars are just on the streets, and I'm from Atlanta. If I see one of those cars, that's a rarity.
It is common around here. There's an incredible car community in Scottsdale. A lot of older people that used to own homes here and they lived somewhere else have retired here and brought their car collections with them. And a lot of younger people are business owners and they've, their daily driver is a Lamborghini or a McLaren.
It's pretty incredible. What do you foresee next for the Vault?
That's
do you have any big plans?
I can't always share everything I'm doing, otherwise the competition would know. But,
I see.
There are things that we're working on to expand. We're max capacity now with car storage. The events have kept us quite busy. We've done everything from a full fashion show for Scottsdale Fashion Week to a lot of corporate events.
Well, you've done such a great job, and I know that the community appreciates you for what you've done and what you've created here. And thank you so much for having us.
Oh, thank you. At heart, I'm just a car guy.
Yeah.
I'm a hardcore car enthusiast, and I want to share it with other people.
I love it. I would love if you would just walk me around, and can we you can tell me a little bit about your collection? Awesome. Give me the tour. Give me the grand tour, Ron.
Well, there's a lot to look at, a little bit for everybody. We'll start with this car up here is a recreation of the 1938 Alpha 158. Built by Ant Anstead that was on Wheeler Dealers and part of Bradford Motors building cars. He built that for Motor Trend Streaming. I walked into Barrett-Jackson and it was sitting consigned to Barrett-Jackson Wife went to the restroom, came back, and I had bought the car. So she claims she will never go to the restroom again. Back in the day, those cars went 150 miles an hour with no seat belts, no safety devices.
Wow.
There's 3 remaining in the world, and drives like a 1930s car. So a lot of fun. One of my bucket list cars is this 65 Shelby that I got about a year ago out of the 550 or so they built. But just love the piece of history that Shelbys were. We have a lot of classic cars like those. We have some supercars. The Ferrari 812 is my daily driver currently. 800 horsepower and a 211 mile an hour top speed. Nice daily driver.
What's the fastest car in here?
This one. Actually, this one and the Aston Martin we'll take a look at have the same 211 mile an hour top speed. The Aston happens to be my wife's as well.
Oh.
That was her 35th anniversary present.
You're a good husband, Ron.
Oh, thank you. I try.
You're doing good.
She's put up with me for 35
Okay,
years.
yeah.
I gotta repay it. Down this row, this Aston Martin is the last year of the DBS, called the DBS 770. They built 300 for the world, and only 100 came to the US. As far as I know, the only coupe in Arizona.
That is beautiful.
There's 2 convertibles, twin turbo V12. Pam always picks the color, and then I spec all the carbon. That's the way we do things.
Ron, out of all the 60 cars here today, there was one that you wanted to show us and spend some special time with. I see why you wanted to show us this car. It's beautiful. So after you sold your business, you're like, this is it. This is what I'm getting.
It was for a couple of reasons. One, it had been 15 years since this car came out, yet to me the design is timeless because it was designed off of the Le Mans winning 66 original GT40. It's also Ford's first supercar, and much like the Carrera GT, the last analog car, no traction control, no ABS, no nannies, no rules.
No rules.
So you had to actually drive the car because if not, it will get you in trouble.
Yeah.
I love the design of the car, I love the performance. In 05, other than the Carrera GT, cars weren't going 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. They didn't go 200 miles an hour. So there is an Easter egg hidden in this car. If you look at the headlight, it spells out 100 in the headlight for their 100th anniversary. And that was the Easter egg that Ford hid in this car and didn't really advertise it or tell people.
It absolutely looks like a spaceship. I mean,
It does, and it's almost 20 years old. Next year will be 20 years for this car.
I am an interior freak, so give me a tour of this interior.
Well, it's not the fanciest in the world. The buckets are one-piece carbon buckets.
I'm gonna be the envy of a lot of folks watching at home, I'm sure. Okay, so these doors are so unique. First off, why are these doors designed the way that they
So
are?
this would give the drivers able to get in faster. If you come from the side, you can literally jump in the seat without having to duck your head. The one thing you'll notice, look right in front of you, what do you see in large, very large? You see a tachometer. As an afterthought, to your right is the speedometer. So the speedometer was an afterthought. They didn't have those in the race cars, but they added it because obviously for a street car they required it. They just stuck it over at the far side. So you don't really watch or pay attention to that because you want to know what RPM you're shifting at.
Ah, it's a race car. Great job, Ford. So let's go back there to the engine.
This engine was a supercharged 5.4 liter engine, developing 550 horsepower, 500 foot-pounds of torque. I can attest that it does do 205 miles an hour.
How did that feel?
Very good, very stable, just like you're doing 90 down the freeway.
Really?
Yes, it does. It was built and engineered, over-engineered very well.
Do you get people stopping, wanting to take pictures?
I do. I love having kids get in the seat and take pictures with it. It's about building the next generation of car community.
Yeah.
You don't do that if you keep people from ever seeing them. My wife and I both believe a lot in giving back. We recently raised $50,000 for Make-A-Wish by having a track day. I worked and partnered with some other people to get the track to donate the time, to get people to donate the food. We raised $50,000 for Make-A-Wish. So anytime you can have car enthusiasts get together, they're a very giving community.
Great job.
Just a car guy.
You're more than that. You're more than that.
The-
You're creating community, and that's a big deal. So thank you so much, Ron.
You're welcome.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us. Hopefully we'll be back.
Yep, anytime.
We'll be right back with more Cars and Coffee Exposed.
Promotional consideration provided by...
What is Urable? We are a business management system that helps create an exceptional customer experience and improves business operations. As a car enthusiast, you deserve the best, and Urable is the common denominator. With so many detail shops, endless brands of ceramic coatings, window tint, and paint protection film, it's hard to find the right shop for the job. Shops powered by Urable understand the care and quality that your investment requires. Avoid shops that are in the race to the bottom. If you want to identify the best providers in your area, make sure they're powered by Urable.
Get ready for an adrenaline-fueled ride with Cars and Coffee Exposed. It's not just a show, it's a whole new automotive experience. Now's the time to claim your spot as a brand partner for the electrifying 2024 season. Partner with us to inject your brand into our high-octane episodes and connect with car enthusiasts live at Cars and Coffee events nationwide. Rev up your marketing strategy today. Contact carsandcoffeeexposed.com and let's accelerate together.
Welcome back to Cars and Coffee Exposed.
Warren, you look like trouble.
I am a little trouble.
I saw you drive up in this thing and I said, that's a man that knows how to have a good time.
Well, it's all about the fun of life.
It is. And this car looks so fun, but I've never seen one before, and that's not a surprise because it's 1 out of 10,
Yep,
you
1
said?
to 10 in the U.S.
Okay, in the U.S., where does this car come from?
From the Netherlands.
From the Netherlands. How did you find out about it?
Well, I used to drive Lotus Super 7s a long time ago. And because of my height and size, Donkervort, the manufacturer of this car, he's my size. So he decided to start building cars that would fit guys this size.
This car is not the fastest here today, but it is the
quickest. The car weighs 1,100 pounds. It has a Ford BDA race motor in it. It's very performance-oriented from 0 to 60. After about 85 miles an hour, because of the fenders, the front fenders, it feels like an airplane lifting off. And so I don't go down the freeways too much, but I sure do enjoy taking out to the track, doing autocrossing, and just having fun driving around town and just enjoying it.
Yeah, you let anybody else drive it?
The funny thing is my wife, this is the only car she won't drive that I have.
She afraid of it?
Yeah, she is afraid of it.
Or afraid of you?
No, well, a little bit of both.
Give us a couple other things that you'd like to share with us about this car.
My son-in-law helped me do the restoration. Took 8 years to restore the car. We had a little problem with the motor. We had to found out that there's like 2 guys in the world that work on these motors. Fortunately, one was in California, and it took 3 years for him to rebuild the motor. And it just was fun.
That's a long time to wait to drive.
Yep.
Wow.
And then once we got it all put together, we got it out and did a little tuning, and we were pretty happy with the results.
Such a labor of love. It doesn't have a top, so you can't drive it.
No.
Okay. Right.
No windshield wipers either.
Well, you're in the right place because it never rains in Scottsdale, right?
Never.
Hardly ever. So it's such a great car town. We've had such a good time here, and this is one of the
unusual.
This is a very unusual vehicle, and I'm just so excited to see it. And every time I come to one of these, I see something new, see something I haven't seen before. So thank you so much for your time.
Oh, I appreciate the time.
Thank you for hanging out with us,
Thank
Warren.
you. You're happy too.
Watch yourself out there.
Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
So, Aaron, you've brought your beautiful 2010 Porsche Carrera S here. You've taken such good care of it, but you use it as a daily driver. And you told me a little bit before about your love of Porsche and how that happened. You were overseas.
Since I was about 16, fell in love with the Porsches, really liked that. All my high school buddies were into the muscle cars. I wanted to be the contrarian guy, reading Road and Track in the school library. And so the European cars became a bigger interest for me. And this is the 5th one I've owned.
Wow.
So yeah, long term doing that. But as you said, I did live overseas many years in the US Army, a lot in Germany, which was a great place to be a car guy. All those opportunities to get on the tracks, go to the factories, go to great car events over there. That just increased my overall love for all of it.
And then your love of cars continued. You ended up going to work for Michelin.
Correct, yeah. I retired from the Army and got very lucky to get on with Michelin North America, Michelin Defense, working. So it was a good bridge of my military career plus my car stuff. Early in my Army career, I was on tanks, which is another like car thing. So it all kind of is one big, almost seamless arc.
What about this car does it for you?
So this is kind of the last of what they call the analog Porsches. The new ones, which are great cars, but they're very digital. They got screens and all that kind of stuff, which
More
kind of
stuff that breaks.
Yeah, and it separates you a little bit from the driving experience. I was surprised when I started driving this car how much it felt like my 993, my air-cooled car. I didn't expect it to feel that much like it. So it's great that you got on these that mixture of the old school feel, but it is a modern car, but not as modern as the very newest. It doesn't have CarPlay, it doesn't have some of that stuff. You can put that in if you wanted to. So you get this kind of, you still really focused on the drive, driving the car, interacting with the car. People who don't understand the car world, they look at all of us who have these fancy cars and they're like, oh, you're trying to show off, you're trying to this and that. It's like, no, for me, the car is the platform that gets me to something like this, to coming out and talking with people, to going on drives.
And that's why we're here. And that's why we go to Cars and Coffees all over the place.
Yeah, and that's what's so great about the culture overall, from really rich guys that have 10 cars and they're all collectors and stuff down to I just have one, just everyday guy. Everybody talks together and everything. So it's a great sort of connecting and leveling experience.
You find yourself in a great car town.
Yeah, it has.
Really brought out the best of the best.
And then you come to some of these Cars and Coffees. I mean, I don't know if you got a chance to look around here. You know, one of one car in the world pulls out and a guy parks it.
It's such a great event, Aaron. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your love for your car and the community. We just really appreciate it.
No, thank you.
It was a pleasure.
For letting me be part of this.
Absolutely, absolutely. I am really trying to not be biased and not have a favorite, but oh my God, you're making it hard.
Yep.
This thing is beautiful.
Thank you.
And it has so much history behind it. So I want you to talk about that because it's so unique.
It's Enzo's last car before he passed away in 1988. And plus, it's the first 200-mile-per-hour car ever produced. And there's a lot of very first things on this car, like the tires on this car are Pirelli P0s. Now, P0s are famous now, particularly in Formula One, but the very first P0 tires were on this car. They had to make P0 tires for this car because the boost would come on so intense that they had to put special tires from Pirelli for this car.
So it was sold in Rome initially.
Yeah, 92.
And then it went to
Japan. And I bought it maybe a year and a half ago. I didn't know anything about F40s then, but now I know everything about F40s.
I'm sure you do.
I work on it every week.
How much time do you think you spend on this weekly?
I don't know. I might, because I'm retired, right? So I've had this for a year and a half, and I'm trying to take some of the years off the car, giving it tender, loving care. And it's very mechanical, these cars. I mean, you can work on it with a screwdriver and a wrench. And I've just been cleaning things up and working on it. I don't know, every week I put a couple hours into it.
It's immaculate. Let's talk about the luggage.
Yes.
Okay, because I'm a girl and I like those kinds of things.
Yes, I know women love those luggage. I bought the luggage before I got the car. It came up on Bring a Trailer and I'm going, you know, this is gonna be a deal. You never see the luggage for this car because it's specially designed to fit up in that hole, that round hole in the front. And I bought it on Bring a Trailer and then 6 months later I bought the car.
So you told me how you acquired the car and what you had to sacrifice to get the car.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I had to sell our home. I built 40 years ago, and half of it went into the home here, half went into this car.
You're driving a house.
This car has always been out of reach for me. I never even thought I would ever own one.
How'd you feel after you bought it?
Buyer's remorse. I mean, you've got yourself a house sitting there, right? And you're going, oh, did I get the right car? I mean, is it a lemon? You don't
Can
really
I assure you, you did get the right car?
Great, thanks. And I like taking to shows like this and being on channels like this because it inspires people.
It does. It really does.
If you don't see the car and you don't know about special things about the car, I try to bring people into my garage and actually show them this is what this does, for this purpose.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great design. I mean, till this day, it is just absolutely relevant and beautiful, and you've taken such good care of her. Yeah, anything else you want to tell us about the car?
Oh, well, I could go into how long's your program?
Well, we wish we had all day. Thank you so much, Tom.
Okay.
You're amazing.
Thanks.
This car
Thanks for
is great. We love it.
Thanks
Thank
a lot.
you.
Thanks.
Absolutely. We'll be right back with more Cars and Coffee Exposed.
Promotional consideration provided by
What is Urable? We are a business management system that helps create an exceptional customer experience and improves business operations. As a car enthusiast, you deserve the best, and Urable is the common denominator. With so many detail shops, endless brands of ceramic coatings, window tint, and paint protection film, it's hard to find the right shop for the job. Shops powered by Urable understand the care and quality that your investment requires. Avoid shops that are in the race to the bottom. If you want to identify the best providers in your area, make sure they're powered by Urable.
Get ready for an adrenaline-fueled ride with Cars and Coffee Exposed. It's not just a show, it's a whole new automotive experience. Now's the time to claim your spot as a brand partner for the electrifying 2024 season. Partner with us to inject your brand into our high-octane episodes and connect with car enthusiasts live at Cars and Coffee events nationwide. Rev up your marketing strategy today. Contact carsandcoffeeexposed.com and let's accelerate together.
Welcome back to Cars and Coffee Exposed. During our visit to Scottsdale, Arizona, we were able to meet and chat with a true power couple in the automotive industry, Brandy and Brian Cole. Their latest venture, Speed Society, is now the industry's #1 automotive lifestyle brand. And what better place to have a conversation discussing everything cars than outside in the Sonoran Desert?
I'm so excited to be here with a true power couple of the automotive industry. We got Brian and Brandy here in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona. This gorgeous backdrop. Thanks so much for bringing us here. I guess we just want to start the conversation talking about Speed Society, because that's the name on everyone's lips. Tell us all about it.
So Speed Society is, for all intents and purposes, it's the largest automotive lifestyle brand in the United States. A lot of people know us for the car giveaways that we started. They know us for our distribution network of social media. We try and create content for automotive enthusiasts, and that was kind of always the goal, was how can we support every single vertical of the automotive industry, whether you're a hot rodder, you're a street racer, hypercars, off-roading. So we've got a network of over 40 million fans between all these different super pages that we have.
So name some of those pages.
Yeah, so of course, Speed Society is the parent brand. We've got District Speed, which is kind of the supercars and hypercars. We've got C10 trucks, we've got Diesel Mayhem, we've got on-road versus off-road. So all these different types of pages that represent all the verticals and who you are as a car enthusiast. And then we've got our whole automotive and streetwear apparel brand. So there's nothing cool in the automotive space. There's nothing that represents you and who you are and your culture and your friends and car shows and Cars and Coffee. That is what we want to support. So the idea of Speed Society is to represent all the enthusiasts, give them the content they want to consume, give them the product and clothing that they want to wear with their friends, and then also change their lives forever and give away a car every 60 days.
What kind of sparked this love for you, or this interest for you to do this?
So for me, I was a greaser. One of my first brands was Von Dutch Clothing. I had, lead sleds, 54 Bel Air, 49 Merc. That was like my life. And then I got bit by the bug of sports cars and racing and tracking and all that. And it's like crack. It's automotive crack. And that's one of those things where everything we do as a couple revolves around cars. And it's the craziest thing, but the businesses that we grow, everything we do in our life and achievements in our career.
And even the friends that you make. It's really about how all these cars bring people together.
Yes, absolutely.
And we've established like the greatest friendships all through cars.
You eat, breathe, live cars.
Yes.
So a typical day in the life, what is it?
Beginning of the day, it's what we're doing with production, what we're doing with shooting, what we're doing with giveaway cars, what's the next build, what we're doing with collabs, Hot Wheels, whatever it is. And then I start getting online at nighttime about my cars and like, what's next? What's the next mods? You know, what are we doing now? I'm doing a new restoration. And I'll be doing that the second to go to sleep with the cell phone falling on my face, you know?
What's the next car for you?
We just purchased a very famous car. It was the Paul Newman Ferrari 355 Challenge race car. So we just got that, and we started a restoration in June 2023, and should be done in March, and then we'll bring it out and share it with the world and go to all the historic races. And yeah, so that's our latest.
So March, so probably July.
Yeah, just in time for summer.
It was supposed to be November, so yes, now I'm saying that it is going to be March.
Yeah.
So Brandy, I'm sure as a woman you get this question all the time. I get it too. I was born into this business, so I didn't choose it, it chose me.
Yeah.
It sounds like you chose this life.
I definitely did. Kind of like how I picked out Hot Wheels when I was a kid instead of Barbie dolls.
Oh, I love it.
So I think that's where it started, for sure. As soon as I graduated high school, I went to work for a Ferrari dealer and worked in the service department, and that's where I really learned so much.
Were you a service writer?
I did some service writing, I managed warranty. Yeah, that was such a learning experience.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Of course, like we were talking about earlier, you just get sucked in and there's just
black hole.
no way out. So 23 years later, had the, opportunity to work with Rolls-Royce and Bentley and Lamborghini. So it's really, really been a wild ride.
You guys are goals. I love it.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of what you're doing. And Brian, you're great and all that, but I've been for tons of rides with guys before. I want Brandy to take me for a ride today, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
You mind sitting back for a little while? Okay.
You guys have fun.
All right, let's go.
I feel like my level of sexiness just went up.
It does have that effect.
Oh, the power.
Yes. Nice 12-cylinder, which you're not going to see many more of those cars around anymore.
No. This is my first ride in a 12-cylinder.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
And there's no power steering.
Okay, right. Yes.
You know, a good little workout in the meantime.
Is that how you stay in shape?
Yeah, exactly.
Just drive badass cars. What do you love about driving this car?
I just love these old cars because I can do, what are we doing, like 30?
Yeah.
But it's still so engaging.
Yeah, it is.
And
right.
there's just something about bonding with your car. So
what's her name?
this is Big Bird.
Ah.
Because we got another yellow Ferrari, which we're gonna call Little Bird. I don't know, super cheesy. But
I definitely feel like with these newer cars, we are stepping away from the thrill of the ride.
Aventadors, Huracans, new Ferraris, they're great. They're amazing feats of technology. But you're losing so much of the engagement. You know, talking about how a lot of people don't know how to drive stick shift.
Oh man,
these
isn't that
days.
crazy?
So you're missing out on getting to know your car and getting to, know how to drive properly. Like, this car has no power steering. It's a pain, but I wouldn't trade it for anything because it's an experience and it brings a smile to your face and you don't have to be driving crazy.
Brian was saying earlier you took an F40 cross country and
I did many years ago. We had restored the car and took it on a rally from New York to LA in 5 days.
By yourself?
No, I was with friends.
With friends?
Yeah.
And you were driving by
Yes,
yourself?
okay. We're trying to find that way to keep the younger, upcoming enthusiasts, keeping them engaged with older cars and teaching them how to drive manual transmissions. And Haggerty, has a great program where you can go learn to drive a manual transmission on a closed racetrack. They're trying to keep that culture alive, which I think is important. And just engaging younger people, about working on cars and the restoration process, because we don't want to lose all these older generations that are unfortunately dying and just losing their knowledge. And how do we keep that part of this car culture alive and well?
Yeah.
And we just need more people to learn.
Was your dad a car guy?
No. No.
Was your mom a car girl?
No. I grew up on a ranch in Colorado.
Wow.
So I'm not sure exactly
Where it came from.
But like I said, I was just always, when we would go somewhere, I want to buy a Hot Wheels car. I didn't really care about anything else.